Good morning.
Sorry for the brief hiatus from videoing.
Yes, it's been a crazy couple days.
But we're back. We're back. And what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about just some of the difficulties that come with being a developer.
From the entire range, if you are trying to get a job, all the way to developers like Josh, who are very, very, very talented and skilled.
To entrepreneurial developers, building products for companies.
Yeah, which is what you're doing. And all these crazy pitfalls that he can tell you guys about that they have to deal with, that there's so many aspects to think about. And so it should be an interesting video. We're going to really bring you into our lives. One of the things you have to do if you guys are freelancing or taking on clients, if you're an agency, is you have to know what's the best option for your client. So right now I have a potential client that wants a site redesign or rebuild, or they just want me to fix what they currently have. And so right now I have to actually put together a proposal, with the different options and different pricing tiers. And things like, when you're doing stuff like that, if you're like the technologist on the team, you have to make sure that whatever you are suggesting is going to be the best for the client, money-wise and also build-wise. That's something that can be difficult especially if you are new, if you are trying to get into programming. That is something you have to think about. So making sure you actually understand all the scenarios and take them into account when you guys are putting together proposals or freelance jobs, or even if you have your own agency like Deb Company. Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but Josh is on a meeting upstairs with his brothers, and so I'm gonna pop down here because I'm starving. It's like 11 o'clock here, and heat up some lunch. Funny story, so yesterday I was actually really, really, really sick, so I haven't eaten in probably at least 24, maybe even 48 hours. So this is my first thing I'm gonna eat. Wish me luck that it stays down. Alright, you guys, you know that we love our coffee.
We do love coffee. That is part of surviving as a developer. Good coffee.
Yeah, it's especially if you work remote. But this is something that I bought for Josh, actually. They sell it on Amazon. It's Pete's. It's like based out of California. But this is a light roast.
I wish you guys could even just smell it right now coming out of the bag. It's so good.
It's nice to have little treats throughout the day. Even if it's something little like a good coffee.
It really is delicious coffee. We use the pour over and all the stuff we got from this campaign, Brandy. We got all this cool coffee equipment.
Yeah, from OXO.
OXO. But yeah, good coffee. Gosh, that's going to keep you out of pitfalls or help you survive through them.
Climb out of them.
Climb out of the pitfalls. Good coffee is what you need. I think one of the things that could be a pitfall for development is not realizing a lot of the times that development is more about building for your customer than building for yourself. A lot of developers love to use new tools and all the latest and the greatest, and not that the latest and greatest is bad, but a lot of times you have to build and do things that you don't necessarily want to do because it's best for your customer, your client. You might have to use a tool or something that you're not particularly passionate about, but it's definitely the best case and best use for that product and what it's going to add to the customer. So if you're an entrepreneur or developer, if you're a developer for another company and you're actually selling a product to make money and it's not just a side passion or project, generally you got to really think about it from the customer's perspective, not just what's exciting to you at the time.
Another aspect of that is when you are picking products, so I know Josh just ran into this the other day, but you have to be aware of how whoever built the product is how that they are managing it and taking care of it, like uptake. Because I know Josh was going to use a particular tool and they actually never got back to us when we reached out to them because we had questions. And that's not a good sign. Even though the tool may have worked great and the library it would have been awesome, I think it was an API. At the end of the day, if they're not responding to you or they're not, managing or doing the maintenance for it, you need to be very careful, because say something happens with that particular thing and you can't get a hold of that company who's managing that API or that library or that framework. You definitely need to keep those things in mind as well. Alright, you guys, so we're taking a little bit of a break, mental break. Josh has been so crazy busy these past couple of days with our application.
Yeah, I'm mentally on zero, but there is still an unknown amount of work to do, and sometimes an unknown amount of work is freaky.
So they ran into this bug that is only for Android?
Nope, both.
Both
but
Android and
it happens
iOS.
quicker on Android, because there's so many Android phones, there's a really diverse set of requirements across phones. With iOS, it's a little bit more predictable. But we first ran into it on Android. Not to tell you all exactly what's happened.
Just a glimpse inside what's our current situation.
So when our app supports offline. And so when we originally built the app, we put in a quick fix offline, just read some documentation, put it in, it worked good. We even QA'd it. But upon more aggressive QA in future iterations, we discovered that once we hit a certain level of usage within our app, it just starts crashing. No matter what you do, it immediately starts crashing. And that's due to what we're finding out is actually the storage limitations of where we're storing the offline data. So we're using something called Expo with React Native. Long story short, we took a quick route to get it working and get it out. Now that we've encountered this larger underlying problem, which we're still trying to solve, we're getting closer.
Like on the brink of.
It's like on the brink
what
of
it potentially could be.
Yes, it's like, it reminds me of that Parks and Rec where Leslie Knope's like, I have half of an idea.
Yeah.
She's trying to put it together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up. But we're so there that the problem is vague in my head, and as I'm literally been debugging for the last 3 days. And as the pieces start coming closer together, I begin realizing where we kind of made a shortfall and a short decision. And it was because it wasn't that we were purposely.
Not that it was on purpose. You don't know what you don't know.
We don't know. And so the problem is now there's no quick fix. There's absolutely a lot of times when you're a developer, you're just trying to bust out a quick fix, get something in, get something out the door, and move on. Well, with this, because of the nature of our app, it's so critical that the data is handled properly and nothing is lost between going offline and online. There is no way we can make a quick fix. We have to go above and beyond. And so, long story short, sometimes the quick fixes are not the route to go. It's causing us a lot of pain now. And now this time around, we are thoroughly doing our research, thoroughly making sure we're understanding what is happening. And that's why it's still vague, because we're still putting the pieces together so that we can ensure the fix we make fixes it for all scenarios, not just a quick fix and hoping that whatever situation down the road occurs, it'll still work for it. We can't be in that situation again in the future.
Just kind of like back to like our original thing that programming isn't all about writing code. It's about making sure you're implementing the best possible solutions, and which this obviously isn't always the case, but trying to be able to like foresee things ahead, which happens as you become better at it the more you do it.
Yeah, with experience. We're using a library we've never used before. These tools we never used before, so we weren't experienced with them.
Because Expo in React Native is fairly new. I've actually never really used Expo.
Yeah.
I've always just done regular React Native.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of things about like Expo versus React Native. Expo is really nice when it comes to development, but it's limited on the things you can use. So whatever, we had to use something we never used before. So we were newbies with this particular thing, but it was a critical piece of our app. Should have spent way more time up front learning it, figuring it out, understanding it, not just from the documentation, but I'm literally in their library looking at their code, like making sure I understand it to my core, right? Because we can't face this situation again. So those are some of the things. Don't just be about quick fixes. When there's a core piece of your app, make sure you know what that third party is, what they're doing, and how to use it. Because
if your app goes down when people are using it and you're the one that's supposed to be the person there to fix it or detect the bug, you have to know what it is you're going after, and you have to know what he said, like your third party libraries and frameworks and whatever.
Yeah, unfortunately, we found it before any customers have, but
that's a plus.
That is a plus. So nobody's identified it yet or recognized it. But man, if this would have been out in the wild, because we're still a relatively new company, we still have relatively low usage. Last thing we want is a big customer identifying this and it causing a big hurdle. So thank God we found it, but we're still in the same situation. It's just maybe not as intense as it could have been. So we'll see.
The many faces of a developer.
Yeah.
Need a little switch up. So we got some chicken, some sparkles.
One of our favorite places in Florida, Publix.
Yes, it's amazing.
They have amazing fried chicken and hot wings.
So we got some fried chicken, and we are going to go sit by the pool and eat. We just crushed some chicken. It's our sauce, ranch and buffalo. Of course, our sparkles. Beautiful pool.
Beautiful day. Any final tips, pitfalls, challenges of being a developer?
No, I mean, pretty much stated the things today to think about. I mean, those are just only a handful of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have your own stories and experiences, and of course, let us know in the comments things that you guys have run into that's been like, oh crap moments.
Yeah.
Because we've all been there, we've all experienced them.
Yeah, seriously. No doubt.
So we hope you guys like this video. Wish you guys could be here in this beautiful weather with us. It's like perfect.
Yeah.
We give this video a thumbs up, please. We would greatly appreciate it. Let us know if you like it, and of course, subscribe to our channel below. That would be awesome.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes.